When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. Everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom.
To want to miss the older version of the person is to force them into stagnation. Change is an integral part of the human experience. It is in our code, this is what we're born to do. And change isn't even a linear process. At some point in our lives, we might find ourselves identifying with different variations of the same person. And someday we might just turn and see that the person who's been with us our entire life is a completely different person. And that is okay, that is completely normal. And it is something that we need to approach with the same mundanity that we approach every other thing in life that is consistent and repetitive. Humanity has such a strange relationship with change. As individuals, we grow up and we develop these patterns, these behaviors and habits that end up becoming our lifestyle. As communities, we develop these ways of life, these patterns of behaviors that control and dictate how we be, how we speak, how we talk, how we eat, how we interact with one another. And we create these roles and divide people into these roles. And we believe that as long as we're doing what we're supposed to do and everybody's acting within their own little box and just keep on keeping the engine running, we're going to be fine. But we know that there's no society that thrives without being able to change and adapt to the times and move with time. And we know that as individuals, as we get older and we get mature, we find our way through the world and we pick up knowledge and we change and we morph into new people every time that we learn a new thing. So why is it that we pretend that when things change, when we change, when people change, it's a problem?
In the book The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho lies the story of a shepherd boy who embarks on a journey of self-discovery and personal growth. A quote reads, "The boy knew that the alchemist would be angry with him and he was afraid that he wouldn't let him continue his journey. But the alchemist didn't say anything. Instead, he told the boy that he had learned an important lesson. 'You have realized your journey,' he said. 'You have recognized the path that you're supposed to follow. Now it is up to you to pursue that path with courage and determination. You will encounter obstacles and setbacks, but you must never give up. Remember that the universe conspires in your favor when you're committed to achieving your goals.'"
Is this not what we as a collective are all striving to be? Goals that we are fighting against all odds to achieve, destiny that we are searching for, a path that we are fighting to forge, a person that we are trying to become. Forgive this long-winded introduction as I found it necessary to set the stage for the subject matter of today's video. This person is so complex and nuanced that it's important that we know the context that we're going to be discussing them before bringing them up in any subject matter or as any topic of discussion. This person is none other than internet pop sensation, meme lord, internet troll, and award-winning artist. In writing this video, I struggled on how I should introduce Doja Cat, because where do you even start? I could have gone with her background and talked about her rise to fame, and I could go around tracing and picking up different character traits and things that she had exhibited in different points in time and drawn a map to show how these things have stayed consistent over the years and how she's still the same person after everything, after getting famous, after becoming big. I could have done that. There were so many ways I had considered approaching this subject, but then I thought, I really thought, and I discovered that there's something about Doja Cat that surpasses her aesthetics, that surpasses our perception of her, that surpasses anything that is in the media, and that is the essence of Doja Cat. And that's what we're going to be discussing today.
When I did the Schiaparelli crystal look, I went on Instagram after we posted it, and I was reading comments, and people were saying, some people were horrified, and then some people were just like, I feel like it needs a lash, and I feel like it just needs something, she just doesn't look pretty. And I thought that was so funny, because you don't go to a museum and look at a painting and say, I wish it had more blue, or they should have put a SpongeBob sticker on it. It was art, and that's what me and Pat did together. We did a painting, we did a piece of art, we did a sculpture, and it's just funny when people think that their take matters because it's a personal thing.
Doja Cat's relationship with herself is a very interesting one, and it's constantly changing and evolving, and I think it's very cool that we get to experience it as outsiders. We get to see it happen in real time. She's not afraid to experiment with new things and new styles, and she's constantly pushing the boundaries on what is considered attractive and what is considered fashionable.
My friends like to make fun of me for that dress, but they don't mean it. It's less of a dress, more of like a piece of art.
I look like a worm. That's dope.
She sees herself as a canvas, her body as a medium to express her creativity and her storytelling. To her, it is clay to be molded, it is art to be made, it is a story to be told. And that's how she approaches a lot of her looks, a lot of her choices creatively about her appearance and her image. Doja Cat is a storyteller, and this informs every part of her moves as a celebrity and as an artist.
I like a performance when it's not on stage. I think it's really fun. I think it's refreshing. I don't get to do this all the time, and I feel like I'm entering a new stage where, I shaved off my eyebrows, but that allowed me to create a canvas for myself and for other incredible makeup artists.
This mindset allows her to wear whatever she wants to wear and open herself up to the full creative spectrum that she has access to. She's always loved dressing up, she's always loved makeup, and now that she has access to things, she's able to take advantage of these opportunities and these resources that she has and channel them into things that this passion, this thing that she loves. And you can just tell that Doja Cat loves creating these visual arts pieces that we get to experience through her. Art is supposed to spark conversation, it's supposed to evoke thought and emotion. When we look at art, we're supposed to feel things, think things, talk about it. But I don't think a lot of people process Doja Cat's looks as art. I think that the general approach to her is trying to find out aesthetically whether or not it is pleasing. They're trying to see, is it pretty, is it not pretty? And I think that's a very shallow way of consuming media in general, but also consuming a person, because things are more than whether or not they are considered beautiful. Doja Cat is a storyteller, and I think it's time that we start listening to the stories that she's telling. Pay attention to the text before you go searching for subtext.
I use fashion to express myself, so bottom line, anytime that I'm doing something like this that's avant-garde or out of the ordinary, it's, another way of just me expressing myself and also whoever I'm working with.
It is important to note that Doja Cat's love for self-expression is far more than just her appearance. It goes way past that, and it also touches her music, because she's not afraid to experiment with new sounds, techniques, and genres, and mixing and mashing things to create this new, unique thing that we can all enjoy. And especially because she has herself knee deep in internet culture, she tends to integrate that into her work and create things that are not only enjoyable but also relatable. And I think that's a really nice part of Doja Cat's music that I really enjoy, because she's a woman of the people. She knows what we love, and also another reason why she trends so easily on TikTok, because she's part of that culture. She knows things that gets us clicking, and it's so genius. But I don't want to fangirl. This isn't the time. But her ability to experiment and to be fluid when it comes to her art is also one of those things that have made her successful as an artist.
I mean, it's always different how she interprets beauty into her looks. It's always really kind of messing with the idea of the beauty norms. And ever since she shaved her head, she's felt like this freeing energy of beauty and being a woman that, you don't have to follow what people think beauty is.
Fame has a way of snatching a person's individuality, and as a celebrity, Doja Cat is not new to this. She's faced a lot of backlash from people who think that she isn't meeting their expectation of what she's supposed to be, and they say there's a lot of people that believe that she's too vulgar, she's too gimmicky, and they cringe. People don't really, not people, but a lot of people don't see her as being up to their standards as an artist and as a celebrity. But Doja Cat doesn't let that limit her, because she is very confident in herself and very certain about, not very certain, she's very particular about expressing herself and not letting anything at this point in time stop her from being able to express herself and do the things that she wants to do. So that's kind of how she approaches these things.
Shaved my head, it just gave me this sense of self that was different from any other time in my life, and I feel younger. I almost feel 10, 15 years younger than I've ever felt. I feel like I'm kind of just pushing myself out there and just accepting myself for who I am, no matter who can see me. It's kind of like I ripped off my shell.
In so many ways, Doja Cat's journey is a testament on the importance of self-love and self-acceptance. By embracing her creativity and her uniqueness, she is able to become an inspiration to so many young people like myself who are trying to find themselves and explore their identity and their image in a world that is so unforgiving and so judgmental. And seeing her being able to do that is very inspiring for a lot of people. She reminds us that we're all works in progress, and that we don't need to limit ourselves, and we should always feel free to experiment and to continue exploring the multiple facets of our identity.
There's nothing like sending a message through what you're wearing and having a story behind something. I think it's really refreshing to see when people do stuff like that. Wow.
Change is the essence of life. Be willing to surrender what you are for what you could become. In any given moment, we have two options: to step forward into growth or to step back into safety.
If there's one thing that you need to take out of this video, it is this. Change is an integral part of the human experience. It is normal. You don't have to like it. You can just acknowledge it and see it as a thing that exists and move on. So, maybe Doja Cat has changed. That's okay. That is normal. And if you don't think so, well, it's none of your damn business. Okay, bye!